name is Commissioner Frank Avila. I'm a commissioner at the Metropolitan Water Reclamation District of Greater Chicago, and I am running for re-election as the commissioner of Metropolitan Water Reclamation District of Greater Chicago. My ballot number is 47, and I hope everyone out there will vote for Commissioner Frank Avila. And the name of our show is Water Environment. And I have with me Morgan Carter. He is the producer of Morgan Memo's TV and radio show. Thank you for being on our show, Morgan.
All right. I'm delighted to be here, and it's real special to see these young people, and they just look so bright. We know, and you know, that education is our future, and you have a very important position that you hold now, and we want to re-elect you, and that is to maintain the safety and security and the purity of our water system. We need young people like this to become engineers, right, and scientists, and really as citizens. So since you guys are our hope and our future, I'm just really delighted to be part of this program, and we look forward to you to do the right thing at the right time. So I see you've got all your tables here. You know more about water than I ever did. So congratulations, and we all want to support Commissioner Avila, don't we? Can I get an amen or something like that? Yeah? All right. Very good.
And who are you going to vote for?
Commissioner Frank Avila.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Okay, now I'd like to mention who the kids that are on my show. And I have, on my right, I have Laura. She's 14 years old. And Laura, why are you concerned about the water environment?
I'm concerned about it because it's our means of survival.
Survival, right?
Yeah.
Right. We need water for drinking purposes.
Yeah.
That's correct. 2/3 of our body is what?
Water.
Water, right. And what is your water activity that you like to do?
I participate in swimming, and I like to snowboard, and I like to go tubing, and I especially like drinking water.
Drinking water?
Yeah.
And this is Laura. She's 14 years old, and she's concerned about the water environment. And to her right, I have Marissa. Marissa, how old are you, Marissa?
I'm 10.
And why are you concerned about the water environment?
Well, because we need water to survive.
You need water to survive, right? And what are some of your water activities?
I like to swim and fish.
Swim and fish, that's good. But you mentioned you like to water because you want to survive, you want to live. That's good. To her right, I have Clarence. And Clarence, how old are you, Clarence?
Good.
How old are you?
Oh, 11.
11 years old. And why are you concerned about the water environment?
Because we need to drink it and even to bathe and stuff and keep ourselves clean.
That's true.
And survive.
And survive. All three of these want to survive. Now to Clarence right is Patrick. Patrick, how old are you, Patrick?
10.
10? And why are you concerned about the water environment?
Because we need water to survive, and if we don't have any water, we're not going to live.
You're not? Oh, that's true. That's true. We got 4 kids that is concerned about water environment because they want to survive, they want to live. That's great. Now to Patrick's right is David. David, how old are you, David?
I'm 9 turning 10.
You're 9 turning 10, and why are you concerned about the water environment?
Because it's very precious. We only have 3%, and 2% is ice.
Oh, that's good. And now here's David. He's 9 years old, and he already knows that 3% of all the water in the world is surface water, right? And 1% is for drinking purposes. And that's what we want to educate the kids all about water and the water environment. And to Patrick's right is David. David, how old are you?
I'm Michael.
Michael. Okay, Michael, I just talked to David. Michael? You know what? Michael and David are twins. So every time I talk to them, I get mixed up. Okay, Michael.
I am 9, and I'm concerned about the water because we're using it up every single day, like 3,000 gallons a day, and not a lot of it's left.
That's true because we cannot make water, right? We can't, and so the water we have, we have to conserve because we have this what we call the water cycle. Now, Jack, how old are you, Jack?
I'm 13 years old.
13, and why are you concerned about the water environment?
For our survival and everyday activities that we need water for.
Everyday activity. And you know, all of these kids, all 7 of the kids are concerned about the water environment. And we're going it's up to the kids who is going to protect our environment and to protect the planet. And these kids, and that's why we have to make sure that we give them a good education, and that's why we have to make sure that their parents get a good education, because they are the first teachers of the kids. And so let's talk about water. Okay, let's talk about water. And Laura, what do you want to talk about water?
I would like to know more about the water cycle.
The water cycle. Now, kids, have you ever heard of the water cycle?
Yeah.
Yes.
The water cycle in school? Jack, Morgan, have you ever heard of the water cycle?
No, my dad was a scientist, but I've never heard of the water cycle. So they're already 50 years ahead of me, most of them. So that's great. I want to hear about it myself.
Yeah, you know, we all want to hear about the water cycle, and our kids are going to teach us what the water cycle is. Now, who wants to start first? Jack? Okay, we're going to have Jack talk about the first water cycle. Go on, about the water cycle.
Condensation is the first step.
Okay, now condensation. Who wants to define condensation? Laura?
Condensation is the changing of water vapor to liquid.
Water vapor to liquid. Okay,
In the clouds.
In the cloud. Okay, Jack, you said the first step is what now?
Condensation.
And then what's the next step, Jack?
Evaporation.
Evaporation. And Melissa, what is the definition
The
of
changing of water into water vapor.
the changing of water into water vapor? So first it's condensation
And precipitation.
and precipitation, right? And what does that mean, Laura?
Precipitation is when the condensated water in the clouds falls down to Earth.
The clouds fall
Yeah.
down to Earth, right?
Yeah,
It-
it heavy
when it
enough,
rains.
as in snow, rain, sleet, hail.
Oh, so it rains, right?
Yeah.
It comes rain, so it hits, so it hits the ground. And what comes next, then, Laura?
I believe we have like infiltration.
Infiltration. So Jack, so the water cycle is that when it rains, the water hits the ground, it infiltrates the ground, right?
Right.
And then what comes next?
Hydraulic cycle.
The hydraulic cycle, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and
It processes involving the circulation and the distribution of water in Earth,
okay,
in the Earth.
and then after that, what happens then?
We have groundwater and runoff.
Runoff, and then once it hits the ground and the surface water and everything, then what happens with that?
It goes up.
It evaporates, right?
Yeah.
So it trans-
And is that called the water cycle?
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
who provides the energy for that hydraulic? Okay, let me ask Michael. Who provides the energy for that?
You?
No, not me, not me, because you know, to provide the energy is what? The sun,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right?
It- it
Because what,
evaporates
Laura?
the
What does
water.
the sun do?
The sun evaporates the water from the Earth into the air.
Air, right? So the sun on our planet plays a very important role, right? Because the sun provides the energy, and it gets hot, right? It gets hot, and that water would what? Evaporate
Yeah.
from the ground up in the air. Now, what else do we get the water from as a human being? If we were to get hot and perspire,
Transpiration.
and what's the definition of transpiration? Is that our pores, our sweat. When we get hot, it pours from us and it evaporates. Our plants, when it gets hot. Morgan, I've been learning a lot because I've been with the kids.
Well, I've learned a lot.
Morgan,
too.
yeah. So go on.
They've got all of this great information, but you know, we have to save our planet. And that's one of the reasons that I support you in your daily duties as Water Reclamation Commissioner. We don't realize that our planet's in jeopardy, and these, let's see, the youngest is 9, we got 14. This is our future. They're the ones that are going to be smart enough to educate themselves and do the right thing so we can conserve our planet. And water's essential. I saw here that you can go without water for just 1 week. Did you know you can go without food for a whole month? So what does that tell you? Water, like you said, is absolutely what? Essential.
Yeah.
Right? And I appreciate that you put this forum together.
Oh, yeah. Now, let's go through the water cycle one more time, okay? And so I'm going to have Jack started off the first time. I'm going to have Laura start the water cycle again, the first process. Okay, what's the first?
Precipitation.
Okay, and participation is what? When
it's heavy enough to fall down to the earth.
And what's heavy enough to fall down to the earth?
The condensation.
The
Rain,
cloud,
snow,
right?
Yeah.
Great hail.
Right, because as Jack was saying, that the clouds get heavy, right? And when it gets too heavy, then what happens?
It falls down.
It's rain, hails.
Right, in form of rain, snow, right? It falls right down, right? And it goes into what?
The ground.
It goes into the ground. So it goes to what? Groundwater, surface water, infiltration, right?
Yeah.
And then so it comes down, it goes into the ground, and it makes that one part of that cycle, right? And then what's the next part of the cycle then?
Evaporation.
Evaporation, right? It evaporates, right?
Yeah.
And remember I said, what is the energy that causes evaporation? What's the energy? The sun. That's why the sun is very important. And right now, you know, every day you read the paper about what? Morgan, you've been reading the paper, right? Morgan, you read the paper every day. What are we talking about in pollution in the environment, Morgan? Now, Morgan is, and we're not as smart as the young kids because the kids are going to save the planet. So I'm asking Morgan this question to see if he knows the question. Morgan, you read the paper, right? And what's going on in our environment today?
Well, one of the big things is that we don't dispose of things like oil and gas and those things that can get into the drinking water and really pollute what little water we've got. We don't conserve our use of water. I see just to brush your teeth takes 2 gallons of water. Did you know that? I would have never believed that, you know. So it's very important that we be careful about toxic waste, you know, old oil, gasoline that we might have in a container, anything that disturbs that water table, because the less water we have, the more issues that we got, right? And I saw where someone was covering a road with sludge from a plant, and that had contaminants in it. It got in the water table, and the people couldn't drink the water in that community. It was just on TV the other day. So you guys are really got a high IQ, and I'm going to study this so I'm as smart as you guys are, all right?
and so the sun provides the energy, right? It makes the water evaporate, right? It makes us as human beings sweat, right? It comes from our pores, the plants, right? And so when that happens, Laura, you were saying?
Then we have evaporation and transpiration.
And transpiration is what? From a human being, right?
Yeah, from human beings and plants.
And plants, see? And then it goes back up where? In the air, up in the clouds.
And then condensates.
And then right? And then it gets what? It gets heavy.
Yeah.
And then what? It starts all over again, right? Mm-hmm. So what are they using? We're using what? The same water
over and over again.
Over and over, and that's the same water, kids, that they've been using in Morgan for 2,000 years ago. It's the same water, and we have to depend on these kids for why do we have to depend on you, Laura?
Well, we want to save the environment.
You right, Melissa? Do you want to save the environment? Sure. Because how old are you, Melissa?
I'm 10.
10, and Morgan and I we're up in age, right?
Yeah.
Morgan.
I got about 50 years on them, you know. And you know, my father was in charge of occupational health for the state of Michigan. And I've forgotten a lot about what I know, but we've definitely been polluting the environment, the way we burn stuff, the conserving, how we use our, all of that affects our environment. But the water is the essential element for all of us. So I really, again, want to congratulate you young people for being so smart and actually bringing us up to speed, right, on the water situation. And again, Frank, thank you for having a forum like this. You're teaching adults and young people, and we got to continue to support you for Water Reclamation Commission. Really, we do.
And kids, who are you going to vote for February the 5th?
Commissioner Avila.
Thank you. And my ballot number is 47 because I am concerned about the water environment, and I know that the kids are going to save the planet because the adults, we have not been doing a good job. We would not have all these problems that we're having right now of pollution, hazardous waste, of products, parts in our products that is harmful for the environment. But the kids, they're concerned about the environment. Now, what else can we say about the water cycle? I think we covered pretty good, right?
Yeah.
Right? Now, are there any other questions that you kids like to say? Okay, let's go with Patrick. Patrick, do you have any other things to say?
Oh, what's that?
Okay, let's talk about this. What is this, Laura, in front of us, right?
Yeah.
Melissa, what are we trying to demonstrate here that's in front of us? Huh?
I don't know.
Laura?
The water cycle.
The water cycle. Because well, what is that doing, Jack?
It's evaporating the water into the air.
It's evaporating the water in the air. And if this was outside, if we doing what? Going where?
And the clouds.
Up to the clouds, right? The atmosphere, and then what? It will come back down, right? And that's why we have here to do a demonstration because besides doing classwork, we also do what? Experiments, right? Just because it's better to do experiments to understand fully the process of water, how to have water education, water environment education. Now, should we go on? You have other questions that you would like to ask? Okay, Patrick. David. Do you have
Is there anything else your plant like treats?
You mean at the wastewater plant?
Yep.
Well, here's David asked a question. What do we treat at our wastewater plant? We treat wastewater. And what is wastewater? Let's ask Michael. What is wastewater?
It's poo and urine.
Poop and urine. Yeah, that's majority.
Pretty much.
Pretty much. Yeah, we treat what we flush down the toilet. We process it, and that's true. Yeah. Yes, Michael.
Oh yeah, and we also you guys also treat the toilet paper.
Yes, we treat toilet paper.
So you guys introduce that.
Okay. We have a question from Patrick.
You said there's something coming up.
Coming up?
Yeah, like one of those things or something.
A conference. Now, last thing. Who are you going to vote for come February the 5th?
Commissioner Avila.
For Water Reclamation District, my ballot number is 47. I wish everyone would come out and vote. And Morgan, do you have any lasting comment?
Well, a little bit of heaven if you vote 47. How about that?
Okay, very good. Please come out and vote. My name is Commissioner Frank Avila. I'm concerned about the environment, and I'm concerned about educating our kids about what...